Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Bonjour, salut, bienvenue, nuit de Montréal. Welcome to Montreal by Night. Tonight's scene is the introduction of a new K-Knight into the city of Montreal, the city of dark miracles. This K-Knight, a Shemisi by the name of Alek Malekov, excuse me. They enter into the city of Montreal after having been smuggled in via the train yard. They emerge from the train. Their K-Knight contact, or at least the one who agreed to smuggle them into the city, shuts the door of the carriage behind them after allowing them to pick up whatever belongings that they may have brought along for the ride, with only a simple good luck as they shut the carriage door and well, train departs. Now, just to bring you all into perspective, right now you're in the outskirts of old Montreal, just right on the cusp of downtown. You can see the skyline in the near distance. You can hear the sounds of the city, traffic moving. Could I get a rudimentary intelligence plus Sabbat law check?
Okay. I didn't know we started out with any lores. So
Yes,
I'm assuming
you have
just
two.
one.
You have two free dots of Sabbat law and two free dots of Canine law. I'll actually add that to your sheet. I should have noticed that first time around, but I'm an idiot.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Right, how many successes do you have?
2 or 3.
3.
Unless
Okay.
Would my intelligence, specialty, and creative apply?
Not to this, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just 3
With 3 successes, this is what you will know. Montreal has been a bastion for the Sabbat for many centuries, ever since the foundation of Montreal as a city during the colonial period of New France. You'll know that this city is host to a very unique monument in the Sabbat. It's known as a Black Cathedral. There are only 3 of them in the world. One in Mexico City, one in Bucharest in Romania, and the one here. You'll know that the Archbishop here is Archbishop Adria Boswell. You'll know that the city is kind of a bastion for the more pious of the Sabbat. Path followers are quite... There are several known path followers that frequent the city, that have a presence in the city. You know of the widows, hierophants, the authority on the path of Cathari. You know that there is a very strong path of Cain following in the city. You also know that there is a smattering of other paths, but beyond Cathari and path of Cain, the other most prominent one, the upper echelon of the leadership cast of this, leadership cast, I say, leadership hierarchy, they tend to follow the path of honourable accord. However, you've probably heard some smatterings of some other K-Knights who may or may not have frequented the city at one point or not. You also know that for a Sabbat city, Montreal is surprisingly quiet, at least as far as its crime rate, anyway. and any other external signs that this city is under control of the Sword of Cain.
Okay. She probably would have found ahead and rented. Actually, no, she probably would have seen, or she is going to try and find a communal haven around here.
Okay. The one that the most obvious one you think is obviously going to be that Black Cathedral. Any monument, any place as sacred as a Black Cathedral has to have a communal haven around it.
Okay. Then she will start heading there.
Okay. Where will you begin searching?
Before the Cainite who smuggled her in left, she probably would have asked them if they knew where it was.
Okay, I'm going to roll a luck die for that because I don't want to say no. Oh, unluckily enough, he just simply he dismisses her answer, saying he has no idea. He just runs the tracks.
Then she'd ask if he knows of anyone who might possibly know where it is, or if there is a place where new kindred in the city can acquaint themselves.
Okay, I'm going to roll another luck die because I don't want to say no. Apparently, he has heard some things. He knows that the widows, they tend to frequent the Rack, which in this case is St. Catherine Street. And he's heard rumours that, if anything else, it's very likely that the Sabbat would have somewhat of a presence around the downtown area, which, ironically enough, is located right next door to St. Catherine Street. So, and any look on, if you were to get hold of a map or anything like that, you can see that this place has literally dozens of nightclubs. In fact, this is basically what St. Catherine Street is set up like. You have nightclub, church, strip club, like Art Deco place, strip club, church, strip club, church. Like some sort of really schizophrenic setup. And yes, another thing that you'll notice is that Montreal is also has the added, some would say, privilege of being known as the City of a Thousand Steeples.
Okay.
Mostly Catholic, but in some minority neighborhoods, like little ethnic enclaves, you might find an Orthodox or Protestant church.
Okay. She'll thank the guy and then probably open her phone to a map of Montreal, type in the street name, and start heading there.
Okay. When you get to St. Catherine Street, well, depending on your character's inclinations, this place is either virtually a cesspool of humanity, or it's a feeding ground, or maybe somewhere in between.
Okay. She'll probably head to one of the churches first.
Okay. That's a good. I think this is a good way to intro Connor and Natalia. And around the same time as Alek is searching for one of these churches, if you guys will allow me a little bit of storyteller liberty. Natalia brought Connor to this same church where she saw the bloke who self-identified himself as Geordie Lafarge. The church itself,
Yeah.
the church is somewhat run down as it was last time, and Mr. Lafarge is nowhere to be seen. Hasn't even left his visor.
Oh well, that would have been a great souvenir, but oh well.
And of course, yes, for clarity's sake, for the other two people who weren't involved in that scene, the person who identified himself as Geordie Lafarge was not blind or black. And he most definitely did not have any qualifications whatsoever to repair a starship.
Nope.
Great. So Connor looks at Natalia. So there was a black dude. What did you bring me here for again?
Well, just a clearer clarification of how I found, well, all these steps I took to find the black ferret thing, right?
So I can better explain it to Jean Daniel.
Quite so.
Also, for Connor's part, his previous attire and is actually currently wearing a suit. Probably is a little bit out of the ordinary as far as Natalia knows. Perhaps he is trying out different for when they go to Quebec. Who knows?
That look of yours, it will work as long as you don't talk to people, really.
Yeah, I think that's the case then.
Well,
side eye.
can't you? You're speaking of like very posh British accent. I think that would work well with the suit.
He just sort of narrows his eyes at you. Well, if you prefer, sir, I can speak in this particular accent.
Madam,
if that is.
madam,
I don't care. What? Wait, wait. You're not a dude.
Very funny, fuckface.
You can roll perception empathy, actually.
Oh god. If he's serious, Natalia's gonna be less amused. 2 successes.
He's not entirely joking. He looks like he actually looks you up and down, and then he just goes, "Well, I would say that the name Natalia is a bit of a dead giveaway."
She just looks at him. Well, I suppose for some people it doesn't really matter anymore. But yes, I am very much a lady. Just looks at him, shakes her head very lightly, and just. Right. So we done here?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right.
Don't see anything more fancy around. All right, so I'll keep this in mind when I go talk to John Daniel.
Right, you do that. She looks around. So you haven't eaten tonight, or do you want to go for a snack?
Well, if we can find my particular vice, sure.
Oh, do you have a preference?
He sort of now it's his turn to actually look at you and be like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You do know I'm a crusader, right? We kind of all have our. It's in our DNA.
Oh, I thought that meant that you hated the Camels more than others. I did not know that was specific for clan. Oh well. I always thought you were well, a bit more, Bruja-ish.
If you're trying to insult me,
I'm not. I'm just saying what I found, what I thought. That's all.
that's a bit insulting.
And calling me a dude is insulting just as much. Would you say?
Wait, I've seen plenty of dudes with this kind of hair.
And she will just point at her breasts and go, "And what the fuck do you call these things?" Ah, never mind. Let's go.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, I think Alec, if you want, because we're not being very subtle, maybe roll a perception or
I don't
alertness
think you need
check
to
to
roll a
see.
perception because Natalia is definitely not hiding that she's there.
Well, I don't know how close by she is,
That's
but
true.
yeah, an alertness to see how much of you're gonna hear the keywords for sure. I think.
Okay. Yeah, just 2 successes. So
Yeah, I think you got most of that conversation, and being of the blood. Sure, you have an idea what this means.
okay. Yeah, as you guys were talking, you probably would have just noticed her standing there and staring at you guys, just with a really curious look on her face. Like, are they really just talking about this out loud? Here of all places. And she'll walk over to you guys, smiling slightly, and say, "Hello, I am Alek Malikov, and I overheard your conversation.
So,
Uh,
Indeed. So,
Nice to meet you there, Alec.
with
And Connor
pleasure.
looks at. Is is this a sir or a ma'am?
You just can't
He
help it, can
whispers.
you?
Same to me.
Well, she just looks at Alec and just. I'm assuming that it looks like a woman, right? At this point.
yeah. I got a 2 on the dice roll, so she is.
I
Uh,
would. I would say it's a woman as well. She has a clear smirk on her face as she says that, just looking at her. Yeah, sorry, that's a problem, apparently. Don't feel bad. You
Uh,
couldn't figure out me as well.
so
it is.
no, go
It
ahead.
isn't. It isn't really a problem. Some days I am a female, other days I am a male. Most days I am just an it.
Ha!
So do not concern yourself.
See, I knew it.
Yeah, well, broken clock is right twice a day, I suppose. She just shakes her head and just goes over to her, and she's wearing, as you can see, she's wearing leather clothing. Looks like a punker. Piercings, has some leather gloves, more like a biker's gloves on. And she just sticks out a hand, just says, "Hello, Alec, Natalia."
She'll. She's she's wearing probably just jeans and a t-shirt. She'll. Of course, she's got some bags with her, and one smells like dirt. And she'll shake Natalia's hand. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, likewise, I suppose. So she looks around. Um, Just arrived, or what?
Indeed, I have just arrived a few moments ago, in fact.
Mm. Connor looks at Alec. You might show him us your collars, perhaps.
Oh, right.
And
Suppose.
just so I'm clear, what exactly do you mean by that?
Intelligence about law, please.
Okay.
I failed that one when in my intro sheet.
And she knows. All right. Show your colours. Amongst some of the more young, well, amongst most Sabbat, purple is typically associated with the sect. It's kind of a holdover from, ye olde days. Generally speaking, this just means, show something which is purple in colour. Some of the younger generations, they will show like a purple do-rag, or like wear a purple shirt, or, something like that. But for the most part, it's just a purple. Anything purple will naturally do.
Okay. She'll reach into her pocket and pull out a very nice embroidered purple handkerchief then, and just kind of wave it about for a moment before sticking it back into her pocket.
Oh! As he throws up his head. Nice to meet you, sister. The name's Connor. Oh.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here, Connor.
So
I'm assuming. Oh, go ahead.
you just arrived here. You're here for something specific, or you just sightseeing?
I am just sightseeing. My town got a little boring, and I decided to change it up.
Okay. From Europe?
Russia.
It's still Europe.
As
Well,
wanted to be more specific.
well, I mean, Europe doesn't have to be. Russia doesn't have to be Europe. It can also be in Asia, actually, part of it.
Natalia will say in Russian, uh, "Don't mind this guy. He's okay. He's just a little slow on the uptake."
Funny enough, she doesn't know Russian. She knows Tartar.
Yep, she's one of those Russians.
So she will respond in Tartar. I do not know what you're saying.
No. Oh well. Both from Russia, but still we can only communicate in English.
Natalia
Oh, well.
doesn't have any academics, so and she's technically Russian American anyway. So
No. She just says in English
all right.
that we're both from Russia, but still we cannot communicate. Oh well. Well. So me and Connor are heading out for a bite. Well, you're still up for it, right, Connor?
Yeah, of course. The more, the merrier.
Right. So we're going out for a bite to eat. You in or out?
I would enjoy that, yes, but I was wondering if you could show me to the Black Cathedral, or is there a communal haven around? I would like to set my belongings down.
Oh, there's plenty of places down there. I slept a couple of the first days here down there myself. So if you want to go there first, sure.
If it would be no bother to you.
Yeah, no problem for me. I'm not
Eh.
that hungry.
Just a little bit, but not too much.
Natalia will go out of the church grounds, so to say. She'll walk over to a Toyota truck, a terrorist van, whatever you want to call it. She'll just sit in there and just wait for the two others to come over and get in.
She'll follow them, taking her bags of stuff with her.
Connor, for his part, will just when he realizes that Natalia is driving the two of them, dials a number. Kyle, yeah, bring the car back home. Aye, don't be a fucking dickhead. And then hangs up and follows.
And they will drive to what Natalia knows as the closest entrance.
And just to move this scene on forwards, we'll say that Natalia and Connor lead Alek down underground through the subterranean entrance to the Black Cathedral. It takes a little while, but considering how secret this place and how sacred it is, it's probably understandable. The tunnels which you walk down, they lead. At first, they're lit only by these simple halogen lights. It's almost a maze, the directions that you need to take. But eventually, you come to a mausoleum. Something that looks like it's stood here for centuries, and then onto a set of giant double doors, which, when Natalia and Connor open them up, inside you gaze upon the glory of the Black Cathedral. It's kind of a hybrid between a subterranean cathedral and a mausoleum. The walls are adorned with statues of vampires of note. The ceiling is almost... It depicts a Sistine Chapel-like depiction of Gehenna. Vampires rising from the ground, gorging themselves on the blood of mortals and younger vampires alike. The grounds, or the cathedral itself, is guarded by this honor guard. Vampires wearing this uniform, which looks almost kind of like the Pope's Swiss Guard, but darker, more drabber, but still just as proficient. The cathedral is oddly quiet at this time of night, barring the presence of an individual which the three of you initially don't recognize. Looks rather nondescript, but you can see him with his eyes closed as he steps around, almost aimlessly. He's listening for something.
Connor, being the dickhead he is, he walks up to the gentleman after a little while. You alright there, brother? You looking for something?
No, brother. I've already found it.
Yeah?
I was searching for another, a brother Samuel. I was hoping he would come tonight. And yes, you do realize he has a very... Although he speaks English fluently, the way that he has an unusual sense of pronunciation where he elongates certain letters unnecessarily, or has like these very deliberate and unnecessary pauses, sometimes in the middle of a sentence.
Very Shatner-esque. Almost.
Well, not so much Shatner-esque. It's like someone he's not. It's like he's not quite. Although he speaks fluently, it's like he's not quite familiar with the enunciations.
So he unintentionally mispronounces some words.
Yeah, you could say that.
Well, I know that
If you've ever seen like G-Man from Half-Life, that's kind of the impression that you get from him.
Alright. Connor waits for a second. Well, I know that Brother Samuel usually is in the libraries. He's, always sniffing books and stuff.
Yes, that was the first place I went to see.
Mhm. He might be at our place then.
Please, could you extend an invitation to him from me?
Sure. Who's it from?
The Shaper Dexter Feldspar,
Ah,
traveller on the path of Metamorphosis.
and Connor just sort of nods a few times. Sure. Yeah. Sounds great.
Thank you.
And he just turns around to the others. Shall we continue moving then?
Yeah, let's go.
Gotta do stuff. And he toddles along.
Before they leave, hearing that he was a shaper and on the path of metamorphosis, Alec will kind of walk over to him and, nod her head. Introduce herself and basically ask for his name.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Hello, I am Alek Malikov. I couldn't help but overhear that you are on the path of metamorphosis.
A traveller upon that path, yes. I'm sorry,
She'll
have
nod.
we already met?
No, we haven't.
My memory, I apologize. My memory, I conducted an experiment not all that long ago. Parts of the brain. That's all I can tell.
Hmm.
I intentionally gave myself a momentary amnesia. Sometimes losing something can be revealing in and of itself. I've been able to piece together some pieces of of my existence. So I apologize if I made the mistake.
No, there is no need to apologize.
My name is Dexter Feldspar. I was hoping to meet with another brother of mine, of a different offshoot, a different lineage.
I see. Well, I'm afraid I do not believe I can help you find this man, Mr. Feldspar, for I am new to the city as well.
Perhaps the two of you will meet and we three can converse at length about the path which we all inevitably follow in some regard or not.
That sounds like it would be a most wondrous idea, indeed, and I cannot wait for that day.
I hope that we will continue this conversation then. In the meantime, if you have other issues or other questions you have about our clan's particular philosophy, I am usually found here. I have my own experiments that I wish to run, and the Black Cathedral provides to be an absolutely an auspicious location to find recruits and to make open discussions. There are few who do have the mental acumen to understand and contribute to these theories. However, our path is open-ended and individualistic. There is no complete truth. at least one which is broadly recognized.
Indeed, you have many, many valid points to that. And as soon as I become acquainted with the city, I will no doubt come to speak with you further about all of that, if you would allow me.
Of course. Then I shall bid you adieu and goodbye, and perhaps, if my memory persists, I might remember you.
Well, good luck in all your experiments, and that you have a wonderful night. She'll turn back, walk over to the other guys, and apologize for making them wait.
Well, it's quite alright. Yeah, where we came in, the area around this place, I think you can sleep pretty much anywhere there, to be honest. For the cathedral, I think there's quite a few places here, but well, whatever your fancy, or you fancy, I suppose you can spend some time down here and find the places, the people you want to talk to. Maybe that guy. She points after the person she just talked to.
Dexter, who is still... He has his eyes closed again, and he seems to be walking very slowly around the cathedral, but he does seem to be veering over towards the one of the exits, which leads out to the to the other crypts.
She'll nod. Thank you for the advice, Natalia.
Yeah, it's all right. It's an okay place to sleep. I slept there, as I said, sometime, a couple of nights at the beginning. It's all right. Do you have any friends or well associates here that you need to get in contact with, or are you here on your own?
I am here on my own.
Okay. There's just you should probably know that there is a quite the call. Well, there is a certain things are happening, and lots of people here are preparing for some quite serious action. If you're not in a pack, you should probably think of finding one.
What exactly is going on?
She looks to Connor.
Connor looks around, pointing in the general direction of where Quebec would be. We're going over there, taking what's ours, or what should be rightfully ours. The city of Quebec.
That's the rumors.
Intriguing. It gives me a lot of time to perform my experiments.
Well, who knows? Maybe if you come along, you'll find someone else who can you can do experiments on. Who knows?
If I come along, I expect to find a lot of people to perform my experiments on.
But so that's an incentive right there. Also, of course, serve this sort of game. But you can have multiple things going on at the same time.
Indeed.
Sure. As long as your personal goals don't interfere with that of the sect, you should be fine.
No, of course not. I would never dream of doing anything of the sort.
Eh. I figured. So, packless. Fair enough. That many packs in the city, to be honest with you there, Alec. Um, Nor do I know your particular needs and wants. Perhaps if you wish to join a pack, you could tell a bit more about what your on life are. He sort of looks at her, him, like, "Huh?"
My goals are to continue performing my experiments, testing the boundaries of what I can and cannot do with flesh and bone.
Well, you should probably, yeah, you should really soon speak to Samuel. He did some fairly intriguing things with that.
She'll nod.
Out of curiosity, though, how well versed are you in the whole aspect of flesh and bone?
I am still learning, but then again, I will be learning for the rest of my life. So, or unlife.
I'm assuming you can change your own face then.
Most definitely. In fact, my face changes whether I want it to or not. It's quite amusing.
He looks at Alec. Huh. Uh, I guess.
Indeed. Speaking of which, if you see me again, there's a good possibility it will not be with this face. So do not worry if someone with a different face, gender, and ethnicity comes telling you that I am them.
Do we need like a password or something, like a phrase, like I don't know, red squirrel is the in the pot or something?
Or squirrels like eating pineapples?
I don't think. Well, yeah, you could use that, or say something about squirrel, or I don't know.
Because he points his finger at her or him. It's a lot. It's probably easiest for everyone around to something to know you by.
That is fine if you believe it is necessary, then I do not mind saying a passcode every time we meet up.
I mean, if like your color of your eyes change, but if you're all of a sudden a black dude named Tom, eh, I need a bit more convincing.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. So I mean, if you come up to us, you say, I don't know, what do you say? Um, Even though looks can be deceiving, um, but Alek is here or something like that, or is
That
it too
is.
obvious?
No,
A bit.
that is fine.
It's a bit on the nose. It's something we'll work on. As he pats Natalia on the back. Although looks can be deceiving, I like
I
that
just
bit.
pulled it. I just pulled it out of my ass. Okay, and come up with something better. She smiles at him.
All right. Although looks can be deceiving, I am not a tentacle monster.
I will not always be able to say that.
Fuck.
I like this. I like this very much. Good one.
There have been a few days when I have woken up with tentacles and bone spikes and other things of that nature.
Okay. As he strokes his chin. Well, looks can be deceiving. I still like dags.
Dags?
Yeah, you like dags?
I am not sure what those mean.
The furry
Nat-
things, 4 legs, snout.
Natalia just lightly face palms at this point.
Okay.
You don't know what furry things are? 4 legs, snout. Most
I
of
know
them are
what a
called lassie.
dog. I know what a dog is, but you said dags. Dog.
Dag.
Dog.
Dag.
All right, it's been a pleasure. I think I need to get going. Natalia just breaks in and she just stands there and seems to get annoyed now.
Indeed. I'm sorry for holding up the feeding.
It's not you. She just looks to Connor. It's quite all right. She just shakes her head.
Fair enough, fair enough. Let's get going then.
Yeah,
You coming with?
Sure.
Righteous. I'm hungering for a little bit of a snack. If you and he motions around. If you need that down somewhere, that's totally fine. Well,
Thank you. I just need to find a room to place my items, and then I will meet up with the rest of you. And she'll kind of head off with her belongings to find a place to stay in the crypts.
Okie dokie. There's plenty of crypts here for you to take. So it won't be too much of a hassle for you to find a place for at least temporary accommodation. But now, I think we can draw the scene to a close. Alek has been introduced to the City of Dark Miracles. And, yeah. So, on behalf of Montreal by Night, we thank you players for playing. We thank you watchers for watching. And we hope to see you all again very, very soon. Au revoir, Madame et Monsieur. Praise Cain.